Morning everybody, it's 11 o'clock ish on Sunday morning. I thought I'd put together another quick video. Put one out the other day where you saw the actual arrival of my new Bitron Premium 60 watt UV clarifier. Open the box so we can have a quick look inside. So today's video I'm going to do a proper unboxing so we can see exactly what it comes with. I've already done a separate video on the individual unit, but I'm actually going to fit it all in. So I'll show you the UV unit in a bit more detail. I'll show you the pump I've bought to actually power this. I'll show you it all being fitted into the individual unit, and then that will be another piece of the puzzle ready to put together once the filter bay is built. So without further ado, we'll start with the unboxing. So this is the beast, Oase Bitron Premium 60 watt. Other sizes are available, 50 watt, I think there's a 120 watt, and there's a huge family of them, but I've gone for the 60 watt because it's the smallest of the newer models. So well packaged, as you can see, with a cardboard. So the unit itself, which I must admit when I opened the box for the first time, is bigger than I expected. She is a beast. There you go. So that's the actual unit. There's steel plates inside that prevent you from looking straight at the UV, which is good. And what else comes in the box? The obligatory instructions. I must admit I spent an hour or so on the internet this morning on the Oase site, because obviously you can get these blown up. These are very small instructions, and if you're getting on a bit like me, your eyesight starts going. Even my reading glasses, it was a bit small, so I'd just advise anybody, go on the site, just blow up the instructions. You can have them as big as your computer screen is, which is really useful, because I spotted a couple of things on there that I didn't see when I read these the other day. A big rubber boot gasket with a 2-inch threaded connector there, and this goes onto the bottom of that one, and then your pump will go into there. There's various recommendations of pumps for this particular filter. There's the Aquamax Gravity, Aquamax Eco Professional. Now, bearing in mind I wasn't planning on buying the individual unit, I was just going to have an external pump. I went out and bought a pump that isn't actually recommended for this, but I still reckon I can make it work, and I'll show you why and how in a minute. So there's a foot pack for the pump, and there's another bag, sorry. So this one contains a lot more fittings. The big collar is obviously for the top connector, and that obviously will fit into the individual unit, which I'll show you in a minute. And if I just tip all this out, depending on how you're mounting it, there's various clips. I believe those are the two I need to use. Screws, washers, rubber feet, and I think that's some sort of grease, but it is in German, and my German's not up to it. I'll have to look that up. But that's the unit. As I say, really impressed with it. It is a lot bigger than I thought. So because I'm going to be playing around with this now, I'm going to play safe, and I'm actually going to take the UV light itself out so it doesn't get banged, and put it back in the box. And if I can just put this on the floor a second, this is a really simple operation. There's a clip on here, or a button you just press, and then you just twist this 30 degrees, and the unit just lifts. It's a bit stiff with grease at the minute. Turn it to 30 degrees and it should just lift out. It did yesterday. Look. There we go. So that is the quartz sleeve with the bulb inside. So I'm just going to put that back in the box, as I say, for safekeeping while I'm playing around with the unit. The other thing to note on this as well, sorry, is the plug that comes with it. So this is obviously a European 2-pin plug. So you've got two options. You can either chop that off and just put a UK plug on it, or you can buy the adapter, which you just bear with me a sec. I've just happened to have one for something else. You can buy these from any really electrical shop, but the good old standby eBay. It's a 2-pin plug connector which goes into a 3-pin, so obviously you can just plug that straight in if you don't want to, well, I suppose invalidate your warranty really if you cut that off. I don't really know, but that's what I'm planning on doing. So as I say, that's it. It's a really big, well made, beefy bit of kit. Really pleased with it. I'm just going to have a quick 10 minutes putting the feet on and doing various things to it, getting it ready to put in there, and as I say, I'll show you the pond pump. So I'll get that now and I'll be back in a couple of seconds. Cheers. Don't know whether you noticed it on the video but the wife sends her apologies because she did fall over backwards onto the floor while she was filming, so if you saw a bit of a jolt, that's what it was. This video is a bit bitty because I'm having to stop and start and stop and start, so apologies if it doesn't seem that connected, but as I say, I'll walk you through a bit at a time. So, pump. Obviously lots and lots of pumps on the market. Anybody that watches what I do knows I'm a massive fan of Oase. Other brands are available, obviously. So the one I decided with, and again I stress this is before I bought the individual unit, I went for the Aquamax Eco Classic 1200C. So it's the standard Aquamax Classic pump, but it's got the controller, so I wanted one with a variable speed controller. This isn't, I don't believe, recommended for the individual unit. As I said before, I think it's either the Aquamax Gravity or Aquamax Professional, but I'm convinced that I can make this work. So for those of you that haven't seen one of these before, again, very well boxed. More instructions. Just going to put these out of the way. It's getting so cramped in the garage. I've taken these out because I couldn't get them back in the box. There's various connectors, so whether you're hard plumbing it or whether you're using flexible hoses, obviously the whole raft of connections and Jubilee clips there. The box itself is the actual speed controller. Again, wall mountable or whatever you want to do with it, but basically that just plugs into the power. No plug on that one, and the pump itself just plugs into this unit here. But again, it's got all the settings on you could possibly want: up and down, fast, slow, on, off. So I did look at other variable pumps, but again, I just keep coming back to the build quality of Oase. So this is the actual pump. Put that out of the way. Standard looking pump, as you would expect. There's the really simple connector that goes into the control unit. Just unscrew this off the control unit, plug it in, tighten it up. Job's a good one. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice pump. It's a really robust pump. It's one of the reliable pumps from the Oase Aquamax range. What I'm not going to need, obviously, is the cover. So if I just take the cover off, you can see the actual pump inside. For some reason, this doesn't want to play. There we go. There are only 2 screws on this, and then it's connected at the far end, at the back of the thing, with 2 sort of plastic hinges. I mean, this is really for obviously in pond situation. Keep the 2 screws, unclip the front, and there you have the actual pump. So so I'm thinking, because that's a 2-inch threaded outlet there, that should screw onto there, and then that should screw onto there, or sorry, not screw onto there, push onto there. So basically the pump should be like that. And the only thing I don't know, if I'm honest, is whether I've got enough room in the individual unit to do that. And although this foot pack, as I say, isn't meant for this pump per se, it does actually fit. So that will be the when it's all connected up, that will be how it sits in the bottom of the individual unit. So I'm going to have a play with this now. I'm presuming I'm going to put it all together and then offer it up into the unit. So I'll have a play, I'll connect it all up, I'll let you know if I've had any problems, I'll show you what I'm doing, and I'll come back to you in a bit. Cheers. Okay, so that was an exciting 10 minutes. Relatively easy, I'll be honest with you. Now, doing my research on YouTube, what I can see is basically people are saying put everything together before you offer the UV and the pump into the individual module. So that's what I've done. So this is where I've got to at the moment. This is the pump that we just saw out of its casing. This attachment, this fitting rubber boot connector, comes with the UV, and that looks like it's 110mm down to 2 inches or 50mm, whatever we're doing. Because the pumps are so heavy, I put this rubber boot onto the unit first, expecting to be able to screw the pump in, but because the pump is so heavy and you've got all the wire trailing, what I found was it's easy to actually connect this, because as I said earlier, this is threaded, so it just winds onto the threads of your pump. So if you wind this onto your thread of your pump first, clamp it up so it's tight and it's not going to move, and then offer this onto the whole unit, because in this rubber boot there's a groove cut, so the outlet is the same as that with a big groove, so you've got to make sure you push this right over that groove before you can seat it. But there it is at the minute. So it's got the pump on, so the pump's connected. I've put the feet on. I'm not actually sure whether I need the feet, so I might end up taking those off, to be honest, but that's where we are at the minute, ready to be put in place. So if we just swing round to the individual module, so we've done a quick overview of this in a previous video, so I'm not going to run through all this again. Just take all the feet and fittings out. Now there's obviously two options, there's options for either 2 UVs or 210mm outlets or 250mm outlets. I'm just going to use this one outlet in my configuration to start with, which is why I've only bought 1 UV and 1 pump. So first thing I've got to do is take the basket out to give me room to play down there, and also to take the actual basket holder out. Everything's relatively simple. All you really need is 10mm screwdriver, 10mm spanner for the nuts on the inside, and then a relatively large, I'm not quite sure what you call that, it's not a posi driver, it's like a star driver, but all the screws are like that. It's just a case of me taking this out, so I won't film it, I'll just do that now, and then I'll come back to you when I'm ready to put the module into the unit. See you in a bit. So this is all prepared now. As you will have seen before, there's a grid at the bottom to keep the pumps and everything that are in here up out of the muck. I've taken the strainer, the holder, this one basically out of the way, just so I've got all this to play with. And now I'm going to lift it all into position and see how well it all fits together. So here we go. Apologies for any swearing in advance. Don't know how difficult this is going to be to lift the whole unit in, because it is going to be tight by the looks of it. Right, everything's in. I'm just going to connect this front piece. There we go, rubber on, front piece in, pump in, and I can't think where I've put the foot pack. Oh, here we go. So just put the rubber foot pack underneath in the right position. the wire will obviously be tidied up at some point. But there you go, that's basically it in position, I believe. Everything needs tightening up. And the tube obviously needs to go back in, so let me just quickly grab that while you're having a look at that. So tube back in. About 30 degrees. Push it down, click in place, and then the wire for that will obviously go across, and there's a little hole for it out there. So if I just put that down, Now I need to put the other basket back in. I'm not sure I'll ever actually use these or not, but this, I do have a concern because I've gone for the 60 UV, not the 55. The 55 watt is a hell of a lot smaller, so I'm not actually sure this fits in with a 60. Ooh. I think the answer is clearly no. Right, so I could obviously leave it like that, that's not a problem at all, because as I say, I'm not even sure I'm going to use these baskets, but well, I just want it in, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do with a little multi-tool, I'm just going to take the corner off because that's all it is. So I'll have a play about with that now, and then I'll come back to you when it's all done and all finished, and we can have a look at the finished item. So I'll see you in a bit. So I'm back with you again, folks. Everything's in place. I think the last thing I was talking to you about was the basket holders going in, saying how I'd need to cut off just the slight corner of this one. Nearly made a massive schoolboy error there. My good lady wife, aka the camera woman, suggested that I tighten everything up properly first in terms of putting all this in place, getting this tied up, making sure the bottom bracket was in place, and rather than having the pump hard on the bottom, I've just lifted it up slightly, and it's given a lot more room at the back. But as I say, my good lady wife says, well, why don't you try fitting it again now before you cut it down? And I did, and guess what? It goes in. It's as tight as you can see. There's a slight bit of scratching on there, but it's all in. And if I get the basket and put that in, everything fits fine. Sorry, there's a good 2 inches, possibly 2.5 inches above the pump underneath. That is absolutely solid as a rock. It fits perfectly on top of the grid down there. The rubber hose connectors are just amazing. They make everything so easy. I keep checking it, but yeah, I mean, I've just put the electrics down into the bottom for now for the pump and the thing. I suppose the only other thing we need to try is make sure the lid goes on. Like a glove. So that is it. So you've already seen this connected up to the main compact L filter. So it's a drum filter and a combination fluid bead module, whatever you call it. So that connects onto here. The water comes into here. If you've got anything in the baskets, zeolite, clamshells, whatever you know, if you're buffering your pH or something like that, obviously the water comes through the holes and it hits these baskets straight away. This, I would imagine, is filled up to sort of well, obviously below that level there. Although this is there is like a grease sealant inside. Not quite sure how far it comes up to, but you know, it comes up to here, sort of thing. and then the pump then is in the water. So, you know, I'm just absolutely chuffed with it. The only thing I realised that I haven't done, which I will do shortly, is there's a couple of brackets that just go on here to hold it into place there, keep it nice and solid. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about doing that at this very second, but yeah, really pleased with it. Fits really great, looks good. It should, you know, it just makes everything so much simpler because I've got the pump and the UV and everything is in this chamber. The only thing that's going to be coming out of here is water, which will then go through the various elements, venturi, return round the back through the air source heat pump and then into the pond again. So can't wait to get it all up and working now. Just need to get the pond built. We had another go on it yesterday, did another bit of digging out. Everything's marked out for the backfill and the concrete pour for the filter bay, so hopefully next week after, fingers crossed, we're going to get that moving. And then obviously it's just a case of putting all this in place, doing the plumbing, rendering, and eventually getting the fiberglass. So brilliant. Hope this video was useful. You know, if you're thinking of buying one of these, if you haven't seen one before, it gives you another choice, another option to think about. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They just fit together so well. Massive thanks to all my subscribers. I think I'm nearly up to 750 at the minute, so anybody that's watching this video, please like, please subscribe, have a look at my other videos. Really appreciate your comments. So I think that's about it for today. I think I deserve a cup of coffee and a sit down for 10 minutes. So stay safe. As I say, appreciate you watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Cheers.